Welcome back, Rebels, to Studio G. I'm UCL Tehran.
And I'm Anna Saya. Thank you for joining us. Today we have some more stories on recent events and recognizing Hispanic Heritage Month.
That's right, we have that and more coming up. Hey Rebels, we are in the final week of Hispanic Heritage Month, so in honor of that, we will continue talking about several important Hispanic figures.
Today, we will talk about Ellen Ochoa, a Hispanic astronaut, and Roberto Clemente, a Puerto Rican baseball player. We will also have an in-studio interview with someone from our Hispanic community.
Dr. Ellen Ochoa was born in Los Angeles, California in 1958. She was the first Hispanic woman to go into space on the Space Shuttle Discovery. She was also the first Hispanic and first female director of the Johnson Space Center in Houston, Texas.
Dr. Ochoa would also go on to receive NASA's highest award, the Distinguished Service Medal and the Presidential Distinguished Rank Award. In 2018, she retired from the Johnson Space Center and became the vice chair of the National Science Board, which runs the National Science Foundation, where Dr. Ochoa later rose in rank to chair in 2020.
Roberto Clemente was born in Puerto Rico in 1934. He was the son of a sugarcane worker. Clemente was an advocate for equal treatment of Latin baseball players. He was prideful of his heritage and was known off the field as the champion of the people.
Clemente was subjected to discrimination because of the color of his skin and his accent. However, this did not stop him from trying to change the opinion of those that mocked him, stating, quote, "My greatest satisfaction comes from helping to erase the old opinion about Latin Americans and blacks," end quote. He led several relief efforts in Puerto Rico after an earthquake hit Nicaragua in December of 1972. After hearing about corrupt relief officials, he chose to fly on the next supply train, which ended up crashing and killing him on December 31st of that same year.
Shortly after his passing, he was inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame and the National Baseball Shrine. His legacy remains, and he is known as a legend on and off the field.
You know, it's really amazing to see how far we've come in the Hispanic community about all the diversity that we see nowadays.
Yeah, and it's amazing how we have these figures to look up to.
So last Monday, Vegas saw a wind pass through, and Las Vegas is no stranger to this weather. It even has a history of wind damage.
In 1991, Bob Stupak's Las Vegas World sign collapsed, and in 1994, the Las Vegas Hilton sign crashed to the ground. It was billed as the largest sign in the world.
The Greenspun College will host an in-person event with UNLV journalism alumnus PJ Perez Thursday, October 14th from 4 to 6 p.m. at Greenspun Hall's auditorium. PJ will debut his feature-length documentary, Parkway of Broken Dreams. Students are encouraged to attend to show their support.
Parkway of Broken Dreams is a documentary that tells the story of a scrappy group of artists, poets, musicians, DJs, and entrepreneurs who built a thriving, influential, and short-lived art scene along Maryland Parkway in the 1990s. Up next, we have the Parkway of Broken Dreams trailer.
In the early 90s, the center of the cultural scene of Las Vegas was Maryland Parkway.
Anything cultural was on Maryland Parkway for a long time because its proximity to the campus, but also it was pretty much the center of town.
All the elements of culture that someone like me was looking for could all be found within a very concentrated area. You had some great record stores, I would argue the best in the city. You had the radio station and the culture surrounding that. And then the anchor to all of it were the cafes.
There was constantly good music and poetry and just interesting things happening.
We all had a scene, like everybody knew each other and we'd pull other people in.
It was the hub of anything that was happening, that was underground, that was creative, it was exciting.
It helped me to know that there were other people who were creating, who had a place in Las Vegas, where they had an outlet.
It was that community's open arms that took a lost kid like me in and helped me grow.
We were challenging a notion that everything happened on the Strip, that all the art happened on the Strip, that all the entertainment was on the Strip.
That whole scene of the 90s was really kind of like a cultural primordial stew for a lot of people who went on to do other things in media or in music or in arts.
We were in this together, you know, and we were just trying to make something happen and make it work. And it did for a while.
The 100-year-old Mount Charleston Lodge has recently burned down completely. Reporter Richard Petzik has more.
On Friday, September 17th, a fire burned down the Mount Charleston Lodge to the ground. The fire and how it started is not currently thought to have been caused by foul play. The first reports of this fire was around 5 a.m. on that Friday. The following Monday, it was closed off and has looked the same since. The lodge has been around for over 100 years. To see it, and the accompanying sign that many, including myself, have gotten pictures with, is saddening. In 1915, the lodge was originally built and had visitors. With a 12,000-foot mountain next to it, it was a popular spot for visitors to originally camp at in tents. The lodge, then, had decades of history before burning down in 1961. Firefighting from that point on proved to be an issue, and after that first lodge fire, the Mount Charleston Fire Station was built. 5 years after, in 1966, the lodge was rebuilt. From that point, the lodge would be a tourist hotspot. The lodge rebuilt in 1966 would be the same lodge that burnt down just weeks ago. Reporting for Studio G, this is GN Richard Pedzik.
You know, it's really devastating what happened.
Yeah, it's devastating indeed. The positive thing is that I heard that it's going to be rebuilt.
And on that good note, we'll be right back after this.
The COVID-19 vaccines can be our chance to get back to our plans, who we are, what we miss, to get back to each other, to life. But it's okay to have questions, like, how were the vaccines tested? In rigorous clinical trials among adults of diverse backgrounds. Can the vaccines give you COVID-19? You cannot get COVID-19 from a vaccine. Why should I get vaccinated? Protecting yourself also helps protect the people around you. Find the latest information at getvaccineanswers.org.
Welcome back to our show. Let's take a moment to look at our weather forecast with UCL.
That's right. In today's forecast, we see that our lovely Las Vegas is at 63 degrees. Sorry about that. It's right over here. It's 63 degrees, and it's mostly sunny. As we go on and see the rest of the week, we have that the highest, it will be on Sunday with 81 degrees. So the weather has gone down, but it's going back up with temperatures. Also, we had a lot of wind this past days, and it's going to be going up and down. We see that the highest will be next Monday, so it's going to be a little bit windy. And this is all I have for today's weather. I'll toss it back to you, Anna.
Today, for Hispanic Heritage Month, we would like to recognize 2 Hispanic students on campus and learn more about them. Reporter Mia Nakamura has more.
Marissa Patton is a senior at UNLV with a major in microbiology.
So I represent the Latinx community and the Hispanic community, so specifically that's the country of Chile.
Jason Amanillo is a junior with a major in communications.
So I'm Mexican American.
Although both students have completely different majors, both of them share a huge passion, their families.
Well, for me, I know family is like that. You know, we're very close.
It's always family first. If you need to work for your family, you work for your family. If you need to be there for your family, you're there. You know, it's like blood is blood. Blood's thicker than water. Everyone says that. So to me, I do come from a mixed family, but on the Hispanic side of my family, we always prioritize each other.
For me personally, it's whenever I've had a downtime, something hasn't worked out, an opportunity has just unfortunately fallen through. Family has always been the people that I rely on, either for advice or just to kind of cheer me up or just kind of give me the confidence that I have needed.
Both Marissa and Jason realize how much of a blessing their family is, but there are still struggles that come with being Hispanic.
You know, Mexicans have had to go to the Supreme Court to be allowed to have an education and all of that.
I am trying to go into healthcare and working in healthcare as a nurse's assistant. Specifically, I've gotten to realize that there's so many Spanish-speaking individuals, specifically in the Las Vegas community alone, and the issue we're having is that language barrier. And when you're, you know, not only healthcare but anywhere, talking about super important information, you can just miss all of this information and you're not knowing what you're signing, you're not knowing what you're doing, you're not knowing what's going into your body per se. And it's super important to have that language barrier gone because we need to be able to communicate that important information to not only people who speak English but to the entire community.
Here are a few words about what Marissa and Jason want people to take away from Hispanic Heritage Month.
There are so many Hispanic countries in this world, right? You're talking about South America, Central America, even if we're going to Hispanic, let's talk about Spain. And when you're talking about all of the countries in general and the contributions they've made to the United States or the world in general is huge.
So I'd want them to take away the history and I'd want them to take away that it's okay to embrace your own culture and that, you know, no matter where you're from, you know, a lot of people like to show an exterior. Like, no, I'm just Caucasian, I'm this. And then you dig deep down, they're Irish or they've got a little bit of Indian in them or whatever it is, and just embrace it. I hope this month teaches them to just embrace who they are and don't just go to the activities because they're fun. Try and learn something and take away from this month. Take something away.
Celebrate Hispanic Heritage Month with your friends, your family, and just remember to respect all cultures every month. Mia Nakamura reporting for Studio G.
So today in studio, we have Vice President of CSUN, Abe Lugo, who is also an advocate for DACA recipients. Welcome, Abe.
Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing all right. Thank you for having me.
Awesome. So just tell me a little bit more about your involvement with DACA.
Sure. So I'm a DACA recipient, which stands for Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals. And basically what that means is I am undocumented, but I have protected status and authorization to work. So because of it, my involvement, I sit on the Nevada Immigrant Coalition, which is a coalition that does work around the state to advocate for immigrant rights. And I also sit on the Undocu Council, where we can do the same thing, but specifically for the undocumented community and how we can best support them, given that we are currently in the fight for a pathway to citizenship for all students.
That's really nice. What kind of ways do you go and help these DACA recipients? You know, you said you had that immigration services. What kind of stuff are you guys working on right now?
Well, that's a great question. So recently I've been able to thankfully attend a few conferences. I was at the NIC, which is the National Immigrant Integration Conference, and that is kind of on a nationwide level on how we can advocate and really just raise awareness in Washington, D.C. For our state legislators to kind of get the ball rolling. And I was also in Miami just a few days ago for the National Conference for Hispanics in Politics, and that really is just highlighting how Hispanic youth leaders just need to get involved, because being present, having a seat at the table is ultimately what's going to change the rhetoric on our community and really uplift our voices. So that's really what we're doing. But on a local level, I'm very excited to say that I'm currently trying to develop at UNLV a series of workshops where we can create a bridgeway program for high school students that are undocumented or documented, and how we can help them in their transition to higher education with the limited resources that they may have because of their status.
So I know that you're a part of CSUN. Is there any upcoming events that might be happening revolving around Hispanic communities, or maybe just normal things that might be happening?
Yeah, great question as well. So right now, we are currently in our Senate election period. Voting is all day today. So after that, really, we're just going to be focusing tomorrow when voting closes. We have the State of the Campus Address, which is where President Karen Yap and myself will be addressing the state of the campus, and it'll be in conjunction with a pretty big party in the PIDA, which will celebrate Hispanic culture. There will be free food. We'll have a few guest speakers there as well. So please make sure to stop by there and vote all day today.
Well, that is so amazing. Thank you so much for coming in today with us.
Thank you.
And we'll be right back right after this.
Every year, 4.5 million young adults between the ages of 18 and 24 visit the ER.
It's every parent's nightmare.
UMergency gives you all the tools you need to quickly and effectively manage your family's emergency. UMergency provides instant access to vital resources, customized to your student's campus and local community, digital consent form, and built-in urgent alert button. UMergency gives you peace of mind when you need it most. Download your UMergency app now.
We are strong, we are resilient, and we will get through this together. But these are stressful times, and it's important to also practice good self-care. It's normal to feel overwhelmed, anxious, or afraid, but there is hope. Reach out to someone, connect with your friends, stay in touch with your community, and know that you are not alone. Learn more at wearebroadcasters.com/hope, furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters and this station.
Welcome back. Last night, the Las Vegas Golden Knights had their season opener against the Seattle Kraken. There's reporter Sydney Lum with more.
It's full of excitement with two of our local teams beginning a new season. The Vegas Golden Knights had their home opener last night against the newest team in the NHL, the Seattle Kraken.
I'm so excited because the first home opener for VGK is against Seattle, and I'm really excited to see their new team.
VGK came out victorious with a final score of 4-3. The atmosphere in T-Mobile Arena is also a win for many fans.
Honestly, the energy of VGK games are like no other. If you've been to a game, you know what I'm talking about, but if you haven't, it is just the most euphoric feeling in the whole world. Everybody is so happy about the same thing, and it's just so cool to see everybody in unison, just happy and not fighting like, things have been kind of crazy lately.
Some hockey fanatics don't just stop at watching the game, but by getting involved with the sport itself.
I grew up in a hockey family. My dad and brother played hockey, so I kind of just followed them.
And you also have fans that just love everything about the ice and what it has to offer.
I'm actually a figure skater. I've been a competitive skater for about 6 years now. I also dipped my toes in a little bit of hockey skating. I love skating.
Skating is all these Knights do. The Henderson Silver Knights have their home opener this Friday against the Colorado Eagles. Leading up to their home opener, they had a couple home preseason games at the beginning of this week.
It's going to be my very first Henderson game, so I'm super excited to see what the energy's like.
Vegas Golden Knights just started their 5th season last night, and Henderson Silver Knights' 2nd season is right around the corner. So let's cheer on our Knights.
Go Knights, go! Go Silver Knights, go!
I'm Sydney Lum reporting for Studio G.
Now, I found the picture-perfect place to take some amazing selfies. Let's take a look.
Located in the Town Square Mall, it is one of the first do-it-yourself video photography museums where guests are able to interact with 22 unique photo booths.
Yep, so it started during COVID actually. My cousin started in Iowa. She was a photographer. She couldn't get any work really, so she came up with this idea, put all of her money into it, and she's been franchising all over the country lately. So it's been blowing up this summer, recently I should say. We give you a ring light to take around with you from booth to booth, which if you haven't used a ring light before, which I hadn't before I started working here, you can put your phone on there, and then you can write it up and move it up and down, and you can use the timer on your phone. So if you want to get pictures by yourself, you got a timer on your phone, you can use that as well. So.
Customers must wear a mask while they walk around every booth, but they are permitted to remove their masks when they are taking photos.
So we got our Lips couch, we got our Good Vibes Only, which is a big hit as well. We have our private jet booth. We have our It's Vegas Baby room, which has cards and has a sign that says It's Vegas Baby. We got a lot of rooms with neon signs, which really make the room bright up. And our lipstick room, we got a couple swings that you can get on, a couple different ones, and it's 22 different ones, so a lot of different ideas and things that you can do.
I don't know about you, but I think this is a pretty sweet room.
Tickets are available online or in person, $25 for adults and $20 for children. While they are considered a pop-up shop, they are hoping to become a permanent location.
That's our show. I'm Anna Saya.
And I'm Yusil Turan. See you next time.